rundown. We went over it in hour number 1. If you didn't see the press conference with the Coastal Carolina coach afterward, he kind of incriminated himself a little bit. Here's what he said. He said, obviously it was his first inning. He said, and this is the coach talking, Coastal Carolina's head coach. He said, I could kind of hear that the official looking at our dugout had said something about a warning. But he went on to say there are 25,000 people in the stadium. He says, so I couldn't really hear. So I walked out, and as I'm walking out, he said, I'm asking, well, what's the warning for? And he said the response, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said the response was arguing balls and strikes, which, by the way, you're not allowed to do in the rule book. Right. And I know there's leeway. It's almost like a basketball coach can't leave the coaching stripe, but, there's leeway. So he said, the umpire said the warning was for now, he didn't say how many warnings. I wish we could hear the entire audio. If it was the 5th warning, I understand a little bit. But when the umpire told the manager the warning was for arguing balls and strikes, the manager, who now is on the field, right? Yeah. Everybody, God and Santa can see him. Mm-hmm. He then, and he's telling this on himself, he raises up 3 fingers and he said, well, you've missed 3 calls already.
Yeah, right.
And then he threw him out. Mm-hmm. So in a weird way, it was like telling your kid to get your hand out of the cookie jar. Don't put your hand in the cookie jar. Do not put your hand in the cookie jar. And about the 4th time you did it again, and you got in suspension or timeout, So I think there was fault both ways. If I'm the manager, though, I cannot get kicked out in the bottom of the 1st inning. Yeah. Bottom of the 7th inning, bottom of the 8th inning, you can't get. Now, was the trigger quick? Yeah, probably. But you cannot get thrown out of that game in that part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he had a burr under his saddle. Yeah. With that, as it was going on. Yeah.
If it was a game in the middle of the year, we probably wouldn't care.
But no, we wouldn't. Now, this is so unfair to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Watching those 2 games, LSU was better. LSU was going to win that series, I think. But that doesn't soften it. And here's Coastal Carolina. They're back at the ballpark hours after they had a 26-game winning streak snap, for God's sakes. It was a tough makeup all the way around, wasn't it, guys?
Well, and listen, credit to Kate Anderson and what he did. I mean, he was almost unhittable, wasn't he, guys?
Yeah, boy, he was tough that first game.
The LSU pitcher was just outstanding. But again, now I know they showed this at the end, especially on SEC Nation, was and Terry helped me on this. Listen, the truly amazing thing about this SEC string of baseball championships is LSU is the only team that's won it twice.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically have had a different. Yes, you basically have had a different SEC school: Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Florida, but
Arkansas.
Yeah. So they certainly wish that. But guys, isn't that the most amazing thing about it?
And what Brent's referencing is the SEC now has won 6 College World Series in a row, and LSU is the only one to do it 2 of the last 3 years. It's been LSU, Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Been a hell of a run. Speaking of the SEC, and I know football's king, and the SEC detractors like to throw out, well, they've gone 2 years now without winning a football title. The SEC must be crumbling. Well, don't look now, but the SEC just won 2 of the big 3 sports in men's sports. The SEC won it in basketball, they won it in baseball, and they've won 4 men's titles. I don't think anybody else has won more than 2 in different sports this year. Major.
Pretty awesome to follow, man. Pretty great to see. Yeah, the dominance. I mean, these things are just pointing to the SEC being right, and the Big Ten, I guess you would say, about seeing themselves as different.
We talked
as.
And Brent, we talked about Miami had a nice football pickup with a receiver. They flipped from Georgia. Go ahead, Pat.
I got a good one for you, and I hope you guys have saw this. Fill me in on this tampering suit from Wisconsin regarding the player that went over to Miami.
But Brent, do you have anything new on it?
I know his claim was that Wisconsin did not allow him to enter the transfer portal or something like that.
Ooh, that's tough if that's true, because
there's let him put his name in or something.
There's not supposed to be any pushback if you walk to if you're a player on a football program and you walk to your admissions and your head coach. There's not supposed to be any discussion. If you say I want to put my name in the portal, there has to be a certain electronic form. And the schools have it. Yeah, there should be no pushback on that. Brent and I talked about it, Pat, a little bit last week, just a little bit, not really getting into it except to say we really need structure, because I would rather see Wisconsin going to the proper NCAA authority arm and then saying, look at Miami, or vice versa, than it's a bad look for –
it is.
University suing university. Bad look.
Well, and look, the other thing with that is, you know good and well, those two conference commissioners are not happy about that at all. Not at all. Listen, it is taboo, has been for years, that you don't, and I know schools are mad at each other. I get all that, but them suing each other, look, that is, as Terry said, Pat, that is something you do, you deal with that behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And and I'm telling you, that does not get the light of day. But see, that's something that the NCAA and the commissioners they've got to deal with stuff like that, keep that from happening again.
And Pat, you know what we talked about, Brent and I, about this. You don't, in the NFL in the NFL, NBA, MLB, you don't see the Kansas City Chiefs publicly suing the New York Giants. No, you go through the NFL and you go through back channels, and that's a bad look. And it'll go away once there's guardrails in place. But right now, that's a
precedent for, like, what is the worst thing that can happen from this?
Hard to say. Hard to say.
The article, but I mean, the precedent that this could potentially set is not what anybody's going to want.
Brent, along the lines of precedent, Brent and I, we only got a couple minutes, but you and I talked, Brent. I don't wish this on a program, but I think it will happen once the NCAA gets some stuff in place, some guardrails, and they get help from Congress, they get some teeth. Don't you guys see some program being the sacrificial lamb and getting popped publicly, almost, and I'm being facetious here, but almost like the medieval days when they hung somebody in the town square.
Mm-hmm.
This person got caught stealing. We're cutting his hand off. You know, don't you see a sacrificial lamb early?
Yes. Yeah. And see, this has been mentioned more in basketball, believe it or not, than it has in football. And what the media said for years is, to Terry's point, that if one of the rock stars got really hit hard, that it may cut down on some of this stuff. I'm not sure I buy all of that. But,
I don't either. Yeah, but some.
But still,
sometimes some people will be more hesitant.
Well, sure they will
to make those bad decisions at least.
Yeah.
Hey guys, listen. Let me throw this out. Timing is everything. Watch this very carefully.
Okay.
The money drops July 1st. Okay, the $20 million. And that they have got to get a lot on this calendar done in the next week.
1 week.
That's going to be extremely important. And I'm talking about signing day, moving. I'm talking about the portal. You're going to have two. You're going to have one. What about OTAs?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have the expansion for the playoff ready yet. But there are major issues that they've got to get done. And by the way, believe it or not, today, in 3 weeks from today, is SEC Media Days in Atlanta.
That's wild. That is really hard to believe, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Again, 4th of July is next Friday.
That's right.
1 week from Friday. Yeah. And after 4th of July, it just always feels like football season.
Sure it does.
It really does. All right, guys, we'll get out of here. Pat, we'll keep hitting your event coming up on Sunday. It's going to be a big event, and just sounds like a good time. I'm going to do my best to get over there. I got my workout Saturday on the boat. I'll get my workout on Sunday. So if anybody needs some fishing tips, I may start putting out some fishing tips. You never know here on the show.
I gotta ask. This is the most important question, Brent. Did you bait your own hook?
Hell no. Hell yeah. They had all this squid. It was bloody squid.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no. It's time to go off the air now, isn't it, Terry? Right?
Yeah, definitely. I did that one I caught. I did try to hold it to get a picture, and it slipped right out of my hand. I was like, ugh.
It was so heavy you couldn't hold it.
Yuck. All right, guys. Excellent job, Mr. Beaird and Mr. Young. We'll do it again soon, I hope. That'll wrap it up. Monday edition in the books. Had a good time. Hope you enjoyed it. There you go. Right there. There you go. That says it all. That says it all right there. With that, we're out. We'll talk some sports tomorrow with you, 4 o'clock, for the next edition of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.